AI, artificial intelligence. Two words that have caused 8 billion people on the planet to become extremely divided. And it's specifically into two camps. First camp, AI is horrible. It will destroy everything. Camp number two, AI is a tool that will help improve our lives. We must embrace it or we will be left behind. There's no middle ground around AI at the moment. It's very polarizing. You're either in one camp or you're in the other. At first, I started out in the camp of the machines are going to rise up and kill Sarah Connor. But over the last couple of years, I have switched sides. I am now in the AI supporter camp, which a lot of people don't like, and more people just don't understand. How can I, a creative, someone who embraces creativity and appreciating art from a human perspective, fall into the side of the machines? Well, it's what I want to talk about in today's video. The first thing I'm doing is disabling the comments, because this is a very polarizing subject. And when I've tried to broach this subject before on other platforms, it has led to a barrage of abuse, which I will talk about in this video. And I don't want any more abuse. These are my thoughts and my opinions. You won't agree with them, and I respect that. But I want the same respect showed in kind. And when people don't show that respect in kind, it's what causes me to shut the comments down. So that's sadly what I'm going to have to do. If you choose to continue watching this video, I really appreciate it. The one thing I ask is that you keep an open mind, and please try to enjoy it. So the first reason why I am now an AI supporter rather than an AI skeptic is because of all the negativity that's surrounding it. The world that we live in right now is becoming very difficult to live in. There's no room for middle ground anymore. You have to fall on one side of the divide or another, and then if you fall on either side, you just get a barrage of backlash and abuse. I've experienced this by trying to experiment with AI. Because at first I wasn't too fond of AI. I was in the camp of, I've seen too many sci-fi movies, I know how this is going to go down. But that's a narrow, singular-minded opinion. And I like to have an open mind. I like to explore all avenues and come to a valid consensus. And it was when I went to a creative meeting through my Ginger Media networking events that when I talked about why I wasn't using AI, I was told to at least give it a try. Because there's points that AI could help me with that I struggle with. And the person's presentation did stick in my brain. So I decided, why not give it a try? See how we go. What's the worst that could happen? The words that you should never ever think. At the time I was doing some videos on my Ginger Engine channel and they weren't getting a lot of views. Consistent views for the channel, but nothing was really breaking through that barrier. I had an idea about a topic and I wanted it to generate views because I thought it was a good topic to cover. And I experimented with an AI image for the thumbnail to try and generate a response. And I was specifically looking for a negative response from the image. Because one thing that YouTube really likes to do is push controversial videos. If everybody likes a video, it doesn't get high views. We want debate and we want to be challenged. Me putting the AI image up challenged a lot of people and caused a lot of dislikes and abusive comments. The abusive comments were removed, but I kept the dislikes because that in turn triggered the algorithm and it became one of my highest viewed videos in months. All because I experimented with an AI image. And it shed light on the thing that I was starting to pick up on, the negativity and criticism on social media around AI, and how people were being blacklisted and ostracized for even daring to experiment with AI, or trying to use it as a tool to help them with their daily lives. And I became quite concerned about that. Us as human beings, we're very emotional. We can turn that emotion into passion and create positive change in the world. But sadly, we also use it as negatives. As many people point out, AI has no emotions. It's just data collected and information provided. So I wanted to see if AI could be used for mental health capacity. As many of you know, I suffer from mental health issues, and a lot of the time, it can be difficult to manage and control it. I was doing this by going to a support group, but in January 2025, that option was taken away from me because of illness. I had labyrinthitis, which was a severe ear infection, which then caused my right eardrum to rupture, which meant my balance was thrown off, my coordination was out of sync, I couldn't drive to support groups, I couldn't even leave my room for a while, and the negative thoughts and the dark thoughts started to creep in because I was at my lowest and my most vulnerable. Now, could I talk to my wife about it? Not really. Not that she's not supportive, but she was doing so much looking after me when I was ill, I didn't want to add another burden onto her. Could I talk to my friends about it? Yes, but they have their own things going on in their lives. I didn't want to burden them either. So I experimented with AI and voiced how I was feeling and my mental health struggles and put it into an AI software. Now, did AI tell me that I was actually very grateful for what I had because they were going through a hard time? No. Did AI tell me to suck it up and just get on with it? No, it didn't. Did AI make my issues about them? No, it didn't. It presented me with clear facts and false platitudes. People will think that having false positives put on you by an AI is exactly the reason why it's not a good thing. When you're in a low mental health space, you'll take anything you can get. Just having that reassurance that what you're going through is normal is what you need. You don't need people's biased opinions. You don't need them going through how their life is worse than yours in a game of mental health top trumps. You just need someone to state the facts, give you reassurance, and tell you that the feelings you're going through are going to pass and you will get better. AI did that, and it made me feel better. Do I still use AI now? From time to time, but I don't use it as much because I can go back to my support group. But there will be times in the future that if I'm unwell and I can't get to my support group, do I feel shame about using AI to make me feel better? I don't. Because when you have mental health issues, you'll take any avenue that you can get to keep yourself on a positive and even keel. And AI did that for me. And I'm going to tell you a story that actually ties in with both points that I just made about my mental health and the social media criticism around AI. Just after I did the Glasgow Comedy Festival, I was in a bit of a low place. It's post-show blues, essentially, and I wasn't feeling good about myself. And a friend of mine decided to cheer me up and sent me an image of me as a tank engine, loosely based on my Ginger Engine YouTube channel image. And this made me feel a lot better. I really appreciated them doing that and shared it on my social media as a thank you. And then the abuse came in, calling the image AI slop, that I was an AI enabler, that I was the reason the creative industry was dying. Very extreme, very emotional, heated response. Now when something's against me, I normally don't fight back. I normally let the dust settle and lie. But this was something that a friend of mine had done to make me feel better, and I stick up for my friends. So I did bite back. And of course, the social media influx came flying in. I in turn got blacklisted from a lot of creative communities because I was an AI sympathizer and I dared question their artistic belief. So it made me want to do a little experiment. A friend of mine had offered to take the said tank engine and use his 3D printer to print it off for me and make it into a physical piece of work. And getting this image made into a 3D printed engine, I was like a kid in Christmas. An engine based on me was physically in my hands, and it received a lot of positive responses because now it wasn't just an AI design, it was a physical piece of art. And then I decided that instead of getting someone to paint it and customize it, I wanted to do it myself. I'm not a great artist, but I wanted to do it myself because it was something that was personal to me. And I've started painting it and customizing it and designing it. And this is where the social media outrage takes a 180. And then they're now asking, why don't you get something else to paint and customize it for you because what you are doing is shit. The exact response that I was expecting. And it just proved something to me. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't when it comes to creativity. If you use AI to create something, you're seen as killing the creative industry. But if you decide to create something yourself, they criticize your technique and they criticize the fact that you are a flawed human trying to create a piece of art and you're not talented enough to do so. Now, I understand people's concerns about AI. I get that people are worried because people's jobs are on the line. But it's not just in the creative industry. AI can threaten any job in any sector. It's just currently being used in a creative capacity. So it's the creatives that are suffering first. But one thing that I have learned is that if you are not making a living being a creative, or you're not as good a creator as you think you are, you're the ones that are going to suffer first. Because the true creatives, the ones that are already at the top of their field and have great use and knowledge and expertise, are using AI to their advantage and embracing it and getting ahead of the curve, rather than digging their heels in fighting against it and in turn losing the battle that they are supposedly trying to win. Plenty of artists don't like AI, and it's because of their own insecurities. They feel that their job is on the line because they don't have it in them to be better. And it's because AI is making the creative industry an equal playing field. People who don't have a lot of experience with creativity or love creating but aren't the best at creating now have an upper hand, a little ace card that they can put in their deck, and they can use it to create things that they could never create before. They can create their own scripts, their own art. They can create their own poetry, their own music, And because the already quote-unquote established artists, or as I call them, the mid-card, are now panicking about it because their spots are under threat. But the upper card of artists, they don't need to worry because they have that level of talent and abundance and are now using the technology to their advantage and helping them become even bigger stars in their field. AI is a tool to help, to encourage and support people to be more creative. And it's also a tool to help people who struggle with parts of their lives. In my content creation journey, things I struggle with: descriptions, thumbnails, tags, titles. A lot of the behind the scenes work that goes into creating a good video that I've tried to do on my own, but there are flaws. So I use AI to help me with them. Do I take everything that is said verbatim and transfer it into my videos? No, I don't, because that's not what you're meant to do. It's a guide to help you. You take that so your page isn't blank anymore, and then you use your creative brain and create the process around it. And I have found it so much more helpful. I'm getting more done. I'm using my time more productively. I'm getting better content put out, and I'm also getting more time with my family because I'm not stressing about how I'm going to sort a tag, a title, or a description. So while I understand that people are scared of AI, you can't deny it's having positive impact on people's lives on a day-to-day basis. But I think the main reason that I'm liking AI more and more is because of the toxicity of people. I'm a very introverted person, very socially anxious and scared a lot of the time. But I'm not scared of technology, I'm scared of people. I'm scared of practically every human being on this planet because they're volatile, they're unpredictable, they're emotional, they're irrational, and most of the time I wind up being hurt by people. They make me feel bad about myself. There are people that are supportive, but I've had more overwhelmingly negative experiences with people, especially over the last few years, than positive experiences. And when you're not mentally strong enough to deal with those challenges, what do? You hide from things that scare you and embrace the things that don't. AI doesn't scare me anymore. AI is actually a really positive thing for me now because I can use it in so many ways to help. I can use it as a sounding board if I'm struggling when sport group isn't on for a couple of weeks. I can use it to help me generate ideas around content creation. I can use it to vent my frustrations about feeling like a bad father. I can use it to help me navigate social situations that I struggle with. I don't think I'm becoming reliant on AI. I think I'm using it to help me navigate through what's already a very challenging life for me. And I would rather embrace that and be able to handle those hurdles than not use it because flawed, invalid human beings are making me feel bad for doing so. It's still going to be me recording these videos, and these videos aren't going to be perfect. But in terms of helping get the reach out, in terms of making me feel better about my own creative process, or in terms of just making me feel better when I'm having a bad day, you're damn right I'm going to use AI. So if you don't like that I use AI, use your right to choose and remove yourself from my life. I give you permission. You are set free. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care.